Welcome back to Open Line. We are talking about gun violence. We have with us Earl Jordan, founder of Partners in the Struggle, Alicia Baker, Talia Simmons. Both have been affected deeply by gun violence. We're streaming this live on our Facebook page. A lot of comments there. I'm going to get to some calls. On our Facebook page, we have David Murphy. He says, I'm confused. Gun violence? I'm a gun owner. My guns have never assaulted anyone or anything. How can so much controversy and blame be placed on an inanimate object? And then he goes on to talk about our culture, the music, and all of the other things that he says lead to violence. But here you have a gun owner saying, how can we talk about gun violence or an inanimate object? You know, what do you say?
Well, I mean, you know, these are what our kids are using. So yes, we're going to say gun violence. What do I supposed to say? You know, if we have children out here using these deadly weapons, and you know, don't get me wrong. I mean, to each his own. And you know, as a gun owner, he has that right. Music, all that plays a major role. I'm not going to question anyone's comment that speaks on this because that's your comment, and I appreciate that. But the gun violence that we're seeing is running rampant. It's been running rampant in our city, and you know, for me, seeing 14 kids, 16-year-olds like Gabriella Bagley and Vestoria Lucas, who was gunned down, by a gun. That's violence. That's gun violence. Yes. You know, now, once again, I mean, that's his opinion, and I respect that. But this is what we're seeing. You know, this is what we're seeing, and this is what we must address, and that's what we're going to do.
And what do you want to say about that?
We are not opposing anyone to bear arms. Right. We don't want people to get confused, and we're saying, oh, all guns are bad, or people shouldn't carry guns. But the fact of the matter is, guns are getting in the hands of people that convicted felons, kids that have no business having guns. Right. So is that not a problem in our society? Okay, we also can talk about the culture, music, TV, but
video games,
all of that stuff. But let's be clear. We've had all of this stuff going on since the beginning of time. We had westerns. What were they using in westerns? Guns. I mean, all kind of music. This has been going on. It's just a different time. So everything is going to evolve a little bit more. So that's understandable. But what we had back then was a culture that, like you said, a family. In the community, where now nobody even wants nobody saying into their child. So this is where the culture changes. You can't blame just music. You can't blame just TV. We've been seeing this stuff. Hugh Hefner was showing Playboy for years. He died in the Playboy mansion. So let's be real. You know, we can blame it on everything, but it starts with us as a community, as a whole, as people. Yes. We can't blame what's going on around us, but for kids to have guns, for convicted felons to have guns, it's a problem. I don't have a problem with a citizen that has no felonies, that's out here hard working. If you want to protect yourself, I have no problem with this.
But it's when the kids and others get it.
Yeah, why do a 13 or 14-year-old child have a gun?
Let's go to Melvin. Hello, Melvin.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for taking my call.
Yes, sir. Go right ahead.
I appreciate it. I would like to make a couple of statements. I'm 81 years old.
Wow.
And I can say one thing. I'm trying to take my time and do it slowly. We got too many guns in the world. We don't need that many guns. If you want that many guns, go to the military. Now, I'm going to say this. I hope you can hear me good.
Yes, sir.
Okay. People are worrying about, I said we got too many guns. People are talking about the kids getting killed and what we need to do to take care of these kids. What the parents need to do is take care of their own kids. Make sure that they know where their kids are, what they're doing.
Yes.
I'm 81 years old and I never even had a parking ticket, let alone a gun. I was born in the country right here in Franklin on Coleman Road. Now, let me tell you something. If you don't know where your kids are, how do you know what they're doing?
That's right.
Parents need to know what the kids are doing.
That's right.
They need to put some laws in, but these parents have a kid that violate something more than one time, maybe two. them parents need to go to jail with them. I ain't got no business raising nobody's kid.
All right, Melvin, thank you for that. Let's talk about that. You're in the school system. There's some laws about truancy if your children don't show up, that parent can be held accountable. These are tough, but all right, what do you think about what he's saying?
I would agree with that, because you know, if you're a parent, you got to be liable for what your kids do, and you supposed to know where. My mother knew where I was.
That's right.
You know,
that's right.
and
street light come on. Where
all of that is knowledge in itself that needs to be spoken about. And if the truancy laws or whatever the laws may be are a little bit soft, then we need to look at that too. That's the reason why we created it.
Let's go to Ross. Hello, Ross.
Hey, thanks for the call. Appreciate it.
Great. Go right ahead.
I got to admit, I'm not hearing what I expected to hear, and that's a good thing. I can't imagine what some of your guests there have gone through. The lady to your far left, she was spot on. I was really impressed. She's impressed me. I was amazed at what she just got done saying a little bit. But to touch on it real quickly, I think the big reason we have so much gun violence nowadays is because we have so many boys being brought up in homes with no father figure in their lives. Too many young boys being raised by moms with no dads in their life to teach them right from wrong. And when you've got a guy that'll teach his boy right from wrong, like Adrian Peterson, he takes a hickory switch to his young boy so he doesn't grow up to punch his girlfriend's lights out in an elevator like some other NFL players we've seen, and he gets ramrodded. You treat a guy like that for raising his boy not to do wrong, and that's what we get. We've got way too many kids with no father figures in their life. That and the government school systems, which threw God out with the afternoon trash 54 years ago, and parents that won't pick up the ball and teach their kids that they will someday stand before a God in judgment.
That's right.
You combine that with welfare, paying young ladies to have kids with no father in their lives. We got what we got, and we deserve it. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Ross.
Yes.
I have several things there, but the one the father figure. What can we do about that? What needs to be done? How do we react? And then you would agree with what he said. What do we do there?
Yeah, you know, my school, where I work at Merle School, I take pride in being Mr. Earl with the basketball gear on. They can identify with Mr. Earl. And if I can give them 7.5 hours of me and making sure that they know that there's a man standing in front of them, how to speak, not to curse, not to lash out in violence, you know, then that's part. You know, I agree. You know, I grew up, my father was in my house. And you're right, you know, he didn't have to say anything twice. He said it one time, and that was it. You better stand at attention, you know, and you're gonna get disciplined. So I guess if my father he would have probably been doing life in prison, because I got many whoopings, you know. So we know what needs to be done, and you know we got to do it. I mean, all the comments, you know, are right on. I applaud with all of them, but whenever we got to put all of it together and see what we can do to change what's going on in our city.
Yes. And I want to echo that. It is some programs out here for people to get their kids in. I got my son in Top Teens of America, and it's awesome. And they've got a lot of great men in that organization. It's another organization all about business, and this guy teaches these kids about business. So it's things that you can do as a parent to help your child. You know,
seek out some of these things.
When my two older boys was younger, I didn't have a lot of resources, but now I've got it's a lot more resources than people think, and sometimes people don't know about them. Some of this stuff is kind of hidden, and people don't talk about it. So sometimes you gotta, you know, get out there and research, but you know, that goes back to us being a community again. That goes back to that. You know, it's a lot of people that grew up without fathers, but they had men in the community that, hey, they would get in their tails, they would, you know, show them what to do, how to do it. My granddaddy and my grandmama raised me. You know, they were my parents. It's nothing in this world that was any better for me than my grandparents. My granddaddy was a great man. My grandmama was a awesome woman. She graduated from 2 colleges and was months away from a PhD. So, you know, but that goes back to family and being a community and all of us coming together. It's going to be families that lack something.
Right.
It's never perfect. So we got to step in.
All right, we're going to take a break. If you're on the line, Lucy, David, others, hold on. We'll get to your call. Also, we'll keep tracking your comments on Facebook as we stream live on our Facebook page. We'll take a break and be back right after this.